Hi guys, Dr. YouTube Tucker here. Make sure I'm doing a little video on how racist Obama is. All right, he ruined race relations in this country. Listen to this, guys.
Giuliani, he's under fire for calling out the Black Lives Matter movement. Take a look.
And it's a terrorist group, guys.
When you say Black Lives Matter, that's inherently racist.
Hear that? It is.
Well, I think there are Black Lives Matter, White Lives Matter, Asian Lives Matter, Hispanic Lives Matter. That's anti-American and it's racist.
It is.
Now, President Obama, he is taking a completely different stance on the Black
Because
Lives Matter
Obama's a traitor.
The president is actually comparing the
He's
group
un-American.
to the
He's a coward.
and women's suffrage movements. What's this?
I know, he's an idiot.
The abolition movement was contentious.
How stupid are you?
The effort for women to get the right to vote was...
So what are you trying to get? BLM right to vote? They can vote, you stupid moron. What an ignorant man that is. He's an idiot.
And
he's the fault those cops are dead.
But the point was to raise issues so that we as a society could grapple with them.
And in the wake of the Dallas police ambush, Donald Trump is praising America's law enforcement officers, and here's what he said earlier today. Take a look.
Our police officers rush into danger every single day
to
to
protect
our community.
Does Obama say nothing? No, because Obama's a coward.
Under relentless criticism. They serve thousands of lives every year.
They do.
Perform
Save lives, too.
public services every day, and yet their names will likely never appear in a single headline or media report. But I want our nation's police to know that we thank you.
Yeah, we do.
From the bottom of our hearts.
We do.
Joining us now,
And we're all not cowards like Obama
in America,
and his administration.
On the role of faith in our nation's history and future. He is a former Speaker of the House, Fox News contributor Newt Gingrich. So we have this terrible shooting where these cops are killed and others are injured in Dallas. We have over the weekend shots fired at San Antonio Police Headquarters. We have shots fired at Chicago Police this weekend. Then earlier today we have in Michigan 2 court officers are killed. And the president is praising a group and invited them to the White House that actually said pigs in a blanket frying like bacon. What do we want? Dead cops. When do we want them now? And they also are advisors, and Hillary Clinton has met with them and wants their endorsement. What are we to make of that?
Well, I think you have to recognize that the left in many ways is going crazy. Donald Trump had it right just now. The police are domestically what the military is overseas. They are the line of defense for civilization. And are there some mistakes? Yeah. As a general rule, we actually track down those mistakes. If it's appropriate, we try people for having made the mistakes. But overwhelmingly, policemen get involved, just like firemen, for the purpose of trying to help human beings, of trying to bring order to a society which would otherwise fall apart. President Obama's relentless failure in 7.5 years in the area of race relations is in some ways the saddest part of his administration.
It is.
He could have been a beacon of hope.
You hear that?
He could have reached out to every young African American and said, look, I'm proof you can make it in America. He could have been a person who brought us together, and instead, as he did once again,
He tore us
today,
apart.
he is endlessly on the left.
Because
flank.
he's a
He is
coward,
endlessly divisive.
un-American.
He has made race relations in America worse.
He has.
And it is truly
He's destroyed
You
America.
know, I want to put up on the screen, of course, I couldn't understand during the debate when the question was asked Hillary and Bernie Sanders, you know, Black Lives Matter or All Lives Matter. Look at these numbers. Since Obama's been president, in Chicago, his hometown, his home city.
See that? How many people has been killed?
459 people have been murdered.
And
Thousands more
tell me
shot.
some haven't because of Obama's
He
mouth.
only mentioned Chicago and the murder rate there 9 times during his presidency, about once a year. And meanwhile, if it's Ferguson, if it's Freddie Gray in Baltimore, if it's Trayvon Martin, that could have been me 35 years ago, that could have been my son, or if it's the Cambridge police, if it's a high-profile race case, he talks about it. Here you have an epidemic, mostly black-on-black crime in the city of
And he doesn't say
Chicago.
nothing.
3,459, but he only weighs in on these divisive, high-profile cases. What does that say about him?
Well, he's an irresponsible politician. As you know, in a number of the cases he weighs in on, he's factually wrong. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
You don't.
He really adopts the symbols. And it is the worst possible thing for a president of the United States to do. I mean, if he were a white president, automatically saying about a white victim, that could have been me or that could have been my son, all of the news media would be shocked at the implicit racism of that comment.
Because he's a racist. He becomes, he's a part of the Muslim Brotherhood. He snuck in under the covers, guys. He's a coward and a piece of crap. He needs to be impeached. And that woman behind him is going to trade America off for nothing. He's going to sell it off.
I think that's extraordinarily well said. There's another thing. You know, I'm offended because I lived during the time when Rudy Giuliani was the mayor of New York. The murder rate when he took office was near 2,500 murders a year. Many black kids were getting killed in the city of New York, and he made a conscious decision to focus his policing to save lives, and that number was reduced to less than 500 a year.
Oh, nice. But Obama's, it went up, guys. Open your eyes.
I want to ask from this perspective, because I think this campaign is in many ways going to come down to, are you better off than you were 8 years ago? And when we talk about minority communities in America, well, I want to put up some statistics. We'll put it up on the side of the screen. You can look at it. African Americans on food stamps are up 58% since Obama took office.
58%.
The number of African Americans in poverty has jumped more than 8% under Obama. The number of African Americans not in the labor force.
Well, whatever civil war he thought was going to happen, he's trying to start.
The home ownership rate for African Americans is down by 4.6%. Household median income is lower for African Americans under Obama. If you look at all of these,
it's Obama's race war he started.
Things have not improved, but yet 90% plus of the black community will vote Democratic. What do Republicans need to do to fix that? Because they're not doing well under these policies.
Because they're not smart.
Well, I think, first of all, you have to recognize that some of the president's popularity is being the first. I mean, just as John F. Kennedy was the first Irish Catholic to become president, there's a certain pride, you know.
Hillary's the first woman. Crazy.
And I think that his appeal in that sense to the black community will remain very high no matter what the practical results are. But I think the number one thing for Republicans is to remember what Jack Kemp taught. People have to know that you care before they care that you know. I am hoping that after the convention, that Donald Trump is going to go to the south side of Chicago. He's going to go to Baltimore. He's going to go to Newark. He's going to go to places where people are in pain, people who don't expect to see a Republican care about them. And he's going to outline for them things that can be done that are practical and real, that would enable them to have better lives and a better future. And my guess is a lot of those folks are going to respond very positively. People don't want to sit around, as somebody described in Chicago, and if you have a cookout on a Friday or Saturday night, you have to listen with one ear to see whether or not there's going to be a drive-by shooting, so you have to worry about your kids getting killed in random. I mean, people don't want to live like that. But the Democrats are trapped by their failed institutions and their failed ideology, and Republicans are trapped by not being there, by not being part of the conversation, therefore not having legitimacy.
You know, I made the case on radio that this week we expect that Donald Trump will make his selection for vice president. You are on that short list. You have acknowledged that you're being vetted. And here's the question the questions I think are most important. Of all the people being considered, these are the questions I would ask if I was Mr. Trump. Who would be best at prosecuting the case against Hillary Clinton in terms of the list that he has? Who would be best in terms of making the case and articulating the case for Donald Trump with a positive voice like you have? Who would be the person that would pretty much be sure to win in any presidential, vice presidential debate? I think you check that corner. Who's balanced the budget and given us a surplus? Who has the ability to work with Congress? I check all the boxes, and you're right there at the top, and I think you'd be the right choice. What is your response to that? And I don't say it as a friend. I'm speaking objectively here. I think you would prosecute the case against Hillary better than anybody, strategize and help them win, and help him govern, which with a hostile speaker and majority leader would be difficult. Your response?
Well, look.